Hello, this is my video on the 10 to 20 things for Anatomy and Physiology 1 or BIO-245. So first we're going to start with the quadrants and the regions. So let's start with the quadrants. This one up here, this is going to be the right upper quadrant. The one right next to it is going to be the left upper quadrant. Right below, this is going to be the right lower quadrant and the left lower quadrant. Now for our regions, this top one up here, this is going to be our right hypochondriac region. The middle one right here, this is going to be the epigastric region. Over here is going to be the left hypochondriac region. Down here, this is going to be the right lumbar region. This is the center is going to be umbilical region, the left lumbar region, and then down here is going to be right iliac region, the hypogastric region, and the left iliac region. So now that we're done with our quadrants and regions, we're going to get into the planes. So for our first plane, this red one down here, this is going to be our transverse plane. So this separates the superior and inferior. Our next plane is going to be this yellow one. So this one is going to be our sagittal, or more specifically mid-sagittal, because it's in the center. And this separates the left and the right. And then for our last plane, it's going to be this blue one right here. So this one is the coronal plane or the frontal plane, and this separates the dorsal and the frontal, so the front and the back. Now we're going to get into our cavities. So first we're going to start off with the posterior view. So this top part right here, this holds the brain. This is going to be the cranial cavity. Down here, this holds the spinal cord. This is going to be the vertebral cavity. And then all together for the back, this is going to be the dorsal cavity. And then this front part right here, this is going to be the thoracic cavity. And then if you see there's like a little muscle right here, this is going to be the diaphragm. It separates this cavity and this cavity. This one right here, this is going to be the abdominal cavity. Down here is going to be the pelvic cavity. Now we're going to look at an anterior view. I'm going to move this a little bit more like this. Okay, so this part, this is still the brain, holding the brain, so cranial cavity. Right here you can see it's still pointing to the spinal cord, so this is going to be vertebral. And then for this center part, this is going to be the mediastinum. And then as you can see, there's two cavities right here to the side. This is going to be the right pleural cavity. Over here, this one would be the left pleural cavity. The center, this is going to be where the heart is. This is the pericardial cavity. Again, with this part right here, the muscle that separates it, this is the diaphragm. This part right here, this is going to be the abdominal cavity. And right below it, the pelvic cavity. And now these two together, this is the abdominal pelvic cavity. And then just like this one would be the top one, it was the thoracic cavity. And for the whole front, this is going to be the ventral cavity. Now we're going to do a little bit of the body regions. I'm just going to go through them fast just because it is a lot of them. But starting with the head, this is going to be the cephalic. The forehead is going to be frontal, the eyes orbital, the nose nasal, the mouth oral, the chin mental. For the cheeks, I know there's two different ways. I've heard people say buccal or buccal. I'm not too sure, but whichever one you like more. The neck is going to be cervical. The shoulder, I understand that in this class they showed us as deltoid. In our previous class when I took anatomy before, they taught us acromial, but we're going to go with deltoid for this one. The chest up here, this is going to be pectoral. The nipple, this is going to be mammary. I believe that's how you say it. The center part right here, this is going to be sternal. The armpit right here, this is going to be axillary. Now for the arm, this is going to be brachial. The anterior elbow, this is going to be the antecubital. So right here and right here. The forearm, this is going to be antebrachial. The wrist is going to be carpal. The palms is going to be palmar. And the fingers and the toes, these are going to be digitals. The hip right here, this is going to be coxal. The groin area, so these two spots, this is going to be inguinal. And then the reproductive area right there, that's going to be genital or pubic. I believe they taught us for this one. And then for the leg, this is going to be femoral. The knee, this is going to be patellar. The shin, this is going to be crural. And then for the ankle, that's going to be tarsal. And the foot itself is going to be dorsum or pedal. They had taught us before as well. And I think that's all of it for the anterior view. Now for the posterior view, anything that's surrounding the brain, so the cranium, the back part of the head, this is occipital. The ears, I had forgotten the ears, that's auricular. This part right here, this is going to be vertebral. This green part, this is going to be lumbar. And then the little triangle right here, this is going to be sacral. This bottom part down here, this is going to be perineal. Perineal, I think that's how you say it. The butt is going to be gluteal. What else? Oh, the back of the knee. That is going to be popliteal or popliteal. The calf is going to be sural. The heel is going to be calcaneal. And I think that should be most of the regions. So yeah, thank you for listening.